You might think that men don't pay attention to details, but the truth is, they notice way more than you imagine. Small gestures, subtle expressions, and even your energy are analyzed without them even realizing it. And the most surprising part? Some of these things can make all the difference in how they see you. Today, I'm going to tell you about the 7 things women don't even realize men notice. And when you get to number 5, you'll understand why this changes everything. 1. Facial expressions, girl. Have you ever noticed how our face gives away everything we're feeling, even when we don't say a word? If you furrow your brow, he can tell something is bothering you. If you flash a subtle smile, he might take it as a sign of interest. Men pick up on these little details without even realizing it, and often they can sense your mood before you even speak. Your face speaks for you all the time, and you don't need to exaggerate, okay? Small gestures, like a side glance or lightly biting your lip, can grab attention effortlessly. If you look relaxed and smiling, he picks up on that positive energy. But if your expression is serious or closed off, he might think he did something wrong or that you're not interested. All of this happens in seconds. And the craziest part, we don't always realize the messages we're sending. Want an example? Imagine he cracks a joke in the middle of a date. If you give him a genuine smile, he knows he's doing well. But if your reaction feels forced or emotionless, he might think the conversation is boring. And we notice this in others too, right? How many times have you seen someone smiling, but their eyes told a completely different story? The face always gives it away. Now, there's something else super important that influences how he sees you, the way you speak. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. And trust me, this can make all the difference in your connection. 2. Tone of voice. You know that saying, "It's not what you say, but how you say it"? Well, it's 100% true. The tone of your voice conveys emotions that aren't always in your words. If you speak in a calm and engaging way, he feels it. But if your voice sounds rushed or tense, he might pick up on that anxiety without even knowing why. The way we speak can create a connection, or unintentionally push someone away. Have you ever noticed how some people hold your attention just by the way they talk? The rhythm, the tone, and even the pauses make all the difference. If your voice has variation, showing enthusiasm or mystery, he gets hooked on the conversation. But if it's all in the same flat tone, with no emotion, it might come across as disinterest. These small details can make your presence unforgettable or completely unnoticed. Think about the last time you told an exciting story to someone. If your voice went up and down at the right moments, with emotion, the person was probably fully engaged. Now, if it was all in a monotone with no variation, it probably got boring pretty fast, right? Our tone of voice can turn any casual chat into something truly captivating. And when we use it the right way, it creates a magnetic pull that's hard to ignore. But there's something even more subtle that men notice, even if they don't quite understand why. Something that goes beyond words and sends a powerful message in any setting. 3. The way you walk, girl. Have you ever noticed how the way we walk says a lot about our confidence? If you walk with steady steps and good posture, you give off a sense of security. But if you walk too fast or with your head down, you might seem anxious or uncomfortable. The most interesting part? Men notice these details without even realizing it. The way you move speaks louder than you think. You know those people who walk into a room and everyone notices them, even if they don't say a word? Most of the time, it's because they have an open posture, a calm pace, and move naturally. When you walk with ease and presence, you radiate an effortless magnetic energy. Small adjustments in the way you walk can make a huge difference in how people perceive you. Now, imagine you're arriving at a date. You walk in with a slight smile, looking straight ahead, not in a rush. That gives off a completely different vibe than someone who rushes in with slumped shoulders, looking at their phone. Your presence is felt before the conversation even starts. Tiny details in how you move can make you even more unforgettable, but there's something even more subtle, something you can't see, but you can feel. An invisible detail that leaves a lasting impression on anyone who gets close to you. 4. Your unique scent beyond perfumes and lotions. Every person has a natural scent that's uniquely theirs. And believe it or not, this detail makes all the difference. Without realizing it, men take notice when a hug or a touch leaves a lingering scent in the air. It's one of those little things no one talks about, but it creates a strong and often inexplicable connection. Have you ever smelled a fragrance and instantly thought of someone? That happens because scent is directly linked to emotions. But what truly leaves an impression isn't just the perfume you wear. It's your natural scent. A guy might not even be able to explain why, but he just knows that being close to you feels good and comforting. This kind of memory sticks without anyone even realizing it. It could be the smell of your freshly washed clothes, your hair cream, or even a subtle aroma that's just yours. Some women have this unique scent signature without having to overdo the perfume. It's that light, lingering scent that stays after a hug or when he senses your presence before even seeing you. These tiny details make you unforgettable in a special way, but it's not just scent that creates this connection. There's another almost imperceptible gesture that catches attention every time you do it. Fib. The way you play with your hair, girl. Have you ever noticed how playing with your hair can grab attention? Without even realizing it, this is one of the gestures men notice the most. Twirling a strand around your fingers, tucking your hair behind your ear, or simply flipping it to the side can send different messages. Depending on the moment, it can show charm, confidence, or even a bit of nervousness. The way you do it matters. If it's a natural and spontaneous movement, it gives off a relaxed and effortless vibe. But if you're constantly fidgeting with your hair or doing it in an anxious way, it might seem like you're uncomfortable. Small gestures like this get interpreted without anyone realizing. A simple touch can spark curiosity and make an interaction more engaging. And here's something interesting. When you play with your hair while smiling and talking, it creates a sense of closeness. This subtle gesture makes it feel like you're fully present and enjoying the moment. Sometimes, without saying a word, you can already show interest and leave a lasting impression. But it's not just body language that has power. There's something even stronger that men notice without even understanding why. And it can completely change the way they see you. 6. The look you give. When you're interested, if there's one thing that gives away how we feel, it's our eyes. When a woman is interested, her gaze changes in a subtle but completely noticeable way. It becomes more focused, brighter, and lingers just a little longer. And the most fascinating part, men pick up on this without even thinking. A simple exchange of glances can spark curiosity, create a connection, and even leave him intrigued. There's a huge difference between a distracted look and an engaging one. When you maintain eye contact while listening to someone, you make them feel like you genuinely care. But if you look away too quickly, it might come across as shyness, and if you avoid eye contact altogether, it could seem like you're not interested. The key is finding the right balance between confidence and softness, creating an irresistible dynamic. And what about a little mystery? If you look at him and then glance away with a subtle smile, it builds curiosity and makes him want to keep the interaction going. Small gestures, like slightly raising your eyebrows or blinking naturally, also add emotion and make the conversation more captivating. Sometimes, a single look can say more than 1,000 words. But beyond eye contact, there's something even more powerful that men can feel without even seeing. Something that fills the space around you and completely transforms. The energy in the room, 7. The energy you give off. Before you even say a word, your energy is already speaking for you. The way you enter a room, interact, and respond to situations creates an instant impression. Some women have a light, magnetic presence that naturally draws people in. Others, without meaning to, might give off tension or distance. And the most interesting part? Men pick up on this energy without even knowing why. But don't worry, it doesn't mean you have to be constantly smiling or pretending to be excited. What truly matters is your authenticity and how comfortable you feel with yourself. When you're at ease and confident, that energy radiates and influences the atmosphere around you. Simple gestures, like greeting someone warmly or speaking passionately about something you love, make a bigger impact than any physical appearance ever could. Have you ever noticed how some people make every conversation enjoyable without even trying? They don't need to be the center of attention. They just have a naturally captivating presence. That's because the way they express themselves shows confidence, ease, and genuine interest. The real difference between someone ordinary and someone unforgettable isn't in what they say, but in the feeling they leave behind. And the most curious part? Most of the time, men can't even explain why they feel drawn to a woman. They just sense that there's something special about her. Now that you know these little details, why not start paying attention to how men react to your presence? And if you want to keep discovering more about this topic, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the next video popping up on your screen. See you there in just a few seconds.